Welcome to the 22nd episode of the Who, What, When, Where, and the Why podcast. My name is Kathleen Johnson, and I'm your host and YMCA Senior Program Director. And my guest today is an amazing member of the Y, Sheila Moore. Welcome, Sheila. Thanks for coming. Today's episode is entitled Inspiring with Joy. And many of you met our new CEO, Megan Shaheen, from the past 2 episodes that we had. And the reason I mention her is that she's a lot of the reason that I have Sheila aboard with us today, because she has inspired Megan in so many ways, and you may not know this since she first arrived last October. And so, like I said, you probably don't realize how much you've inspired her, but she tells a story of seeing you regularly at the Y when she first came in, sitting in our lobby. And then when she was out at our local library for a lecture in the community, one of the first faces she recognized was yours as you were sitting in the crowd, and she was drawn to sit next to you. And at that point, she just has fell in love as part of our Y, and with you as a member, just really getting to know you. And I think she would probably be one of your biggest cheerleaders if you ever needed anything, which if you met Megan last time on our episode, she's got a lot of energy. She's lots of fun. So she would be a great one to have on your side. So today we brought you to hear your Y story and to just get to know you better and allow our audience to meet one of our favorite members. So here's what I remember about you. So let's start where you and I started, which was, do you remember two-a-days?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you long ago, back when Super Fitness was around and Union Hospital was just Union Hospital, not Cleveland Clinic, we did a event in partnership with the Y Super Fitness and Kelly at Super Fitness and Union Hospital. And it was called Two-a-Days. And I met you there. I think it was at Quaker Stadium.
Yes.
And we were doing workouts in the morning and workouts in the evening like the football players. And you were inspired by your grandson, right?
Yes. Yes.
To do that. So tell me a little bit about what got you involved.
I just thought that it was an awesome idea when I heard that they were going to combine together, because I am so relational and I'm so community. And I thought, well, this would be great. We get to know each other better. Yeah. And it was out in fresh air. It was in the morning. I'm a morning person. So I thought it was a really good idea, and I was looking forward to it. And it was fun. I enjoyed it.
It was fun. We did workouts in the morning, workouts in the evening. And I can't remember if we ever went to Dover. Did we? Or I think we stayed at Quaker Stadium the whole time. It's been so long since it was, but it was such a fun event, and you stuck it out. I think you were one of the few that stuck it out the entire time, and did 2 days. And you said, if your grandson can do it, so can you. So have you always had this positive energy that goes with you?
Yes.
Yes.
I have. I am a people person. I love people. And the Y has been awesome for me, because I have gone to several different places and enjoyed them all.
Yeah.
But the Y fulfilled a lot more need than I realized I even had. And a lot of it is people. I feel like it's beneficial being there physically because I'm moving, and that's one of my goals. But it's also socially for me. And I live alone, and it's like these people have been so kind to me, and I so appreciate them. And I'm just thankful. To me, the Y has been a gift.
So how long have you been with the Y?
Several years. I don't know exactly the year, but when I first started, I was teaching school, so I wasn't able to go as often as I do now. But now that I'm retired, I'm there 6 days a week, and I wouldn't miss it. I just absolutely love it, because it's like home away from home. Everybody has been so kind, and I'm, like I say, very relational.
Yeah.
And I think it's also, when you're aging, I think keeping moving is very important. So there I have been able to find opportunities that I didn't at other places I worked out. For instance, I fell and broke my back, the third lumbar. I was in a body brace for 6 months while I was teaching. So at the Y, I could get in the warm pool. Oh my gosh, all my muscles would relax. And it took months, but it got where I'm doing everything now.
How long ago was that?
Well, actual fall was several years ago, maybe 20. And my doctor said, you'll probably see that when you get older, you'll have some arthritis set in. And he said, you may have some issues, which he was right. I did have some issues then. But by getting in that warm water, it just helped me so much. And my chiropractor said, you need to keep doing that. That's the same as water therapy. Nice. And so now I couldn't do anything on the floor. I couldn't even hardly walk. So I'd have to, it was very difficult just to get to the warm pool. But once I got there, I felt so much better. So I did that and ended up, now I'm able to do all the other things that I want to do at the Y. So I really appreciate it. The other thing that drew me there was my sister. My sister was bedbound for 20 years due to obesity. She went to the Y. She couldn't even walk to the little pool, but she would take the chair to it and then be able to get down in there. She's lost over 220 pounds. Wow. She couldn't work a job because she was bedbound. She has a job now. She's lost all that weight. She's like a brand new person. Aww. And so it was so inspirational to me. Right. I thought, well, I can do this. And it just really inspired me. But a lot of my really love for the Y, I have to say, are the people. Like when we were in COVID, I'd have a couple ladies who would, and then Silver Sneakers, give me a call. They were just lonesome. They just needed somebody to talk to. Yeah. And there's just, I'm really impressed with how kind everyone is. And so it's home away from home to me. I have a lot of little homes. So my church is my home. My friends are my home. The Dover and Philly Library, my home. The YMCA is my home. Right. But I'm, like I say, I'm just very relational. And I get energy from people. I mean, to me, I feel like you can learn from everybody. Right. And you can gain something from everyone. It doesn't matter if they're male, female, young, old. None of that makes any difference. Where, to me, my faith is very strong. And so to me, we're all made in the image of God. And we can learn something from everybody we come in contact with. And that's what I feel I do every day. I learn something more, and I'm enriched by others.
And you really are out and about. Like you talk about the libraries. So where do you get your social calendar? Like what's your resource hub?
My Bargain Hunter is really awesome because it's local. Yep. A little from TR, more from Bargain Hunter. But I go the first of every month to Dover, and I get their newsletter. And that's very informative. The
Dover Library?
The Dover Library, yes. And the Philly Library mails me theirs every month. Okay. And then I have a calendar, and I write.
Marking them off.
Huh? Exactly. Nice. So that I don't forget any of them. And then also, I have met people that have become friends at the Y, and we do bus trips. So I do quite a bit of traveling on bus trips, and I'm going to Europe in October on a river cruise on the Rhine with somebody from the Y.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that you're probably at the PAC and everything else too. Do you enjoy that type of thing, or Little Theater, or?
I'm at all those. I'm going to Little Theater this Sunday. Yes, I was at the PAC yesterday to renew my membership. Yes, I do enjoy the theaters and the arts. I think that was one of the hardest things in COVID when those things had to shut down. Right. Because that's when you need uplifted. And to me, that's what the arts do. They uplift you. You get your mind off of the world and onto something
right. Which brings up an interesting question for me that I didn't include in the ones that I sent you. Mm-hmm. But what did you do during the isolation? How did you keep yourself uplifted?
That was tough because my daughter didn't want me to even go out of the apartment. So she said, "You're not going out, Mom. I'm going to buy your groceries and drop them off. I'm not coming in. I'll drop your food off," which she did. And God bless her. She meant well. But that didn't last long. I said, I got to get out of here. I mean, my mailman was the highlight of my day. Oh. He would come to the window and wave at me. Oh. And so then I would leave him some hand sanitizer for him in the mailbox, and then he'd wave at me again. I just absolutely loved him. So there's a this relation thing. And once the weather got warm, then I would go out and walk outside. Right. But it was a tough time because I am not a loner. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously family, friends, faith, all those things are so important to you. And you talked about your sister and why that motivates you to be physically active. And intellectually, you were a teacher. Yes. Right? So tell me some of the things that you just really like to learn What are some
I love
things?
history. And so this is one thing. I just love how the Lord arranges these things. So I'm at the Dover Library to hear a man, Bob Hall, talk on baseball. I know zero on baseball, and I never watch baseball.
Okay.
And I thought, okay. So I go, and this woman sitting beside me I've never met, and I heard her uncle. She's the great niece to Whitey Moore, who was in the World Series. So she's talking to Bob, and when she's talking, she said, my dad taught at Janayton. Well, I grew up in Janayton my whole life there. She sat down. I said, who's your dad? She said, Bob Riley. I said, oh my gosh, he's the one that brought history alive for me. Aww. I mean, I love history to this day. I think it's fascinating. And I said, and he's also part of the reason that I'm a teacher. And so I wanted to write him a note and tell him all this, but she said he passed away. But it was so neat that I got to meet her.
Yeah.
I had no clue when I walked in there I was going to meet his daughter. So I just like that. I'm just really thankful.
Yeah. And I love the way that you do connect. You are normally sitting in our lobby, before class, you say hello. What I love about you is you're not at all like, I don't want to say aggressive. I don't know. You sit and let people come to you. You have that gentle smile. You say hello. You're very welcoming. And then before you know it, somebody's sitting at your table. Like that somebody just sits down and starts to chat. And it's one of those things that people are just are drawn to you because you have this. Even though you're a people person, you're not like an overly you're not overly crazy or loud or anything like that. But you seem to draw people to you, which is just a really an amazing attribute to you, and just something that I think people aspire to. So
thank you for your kind words.
It's fun.
I'm very thankful, and I think that's that's just who every day when I wake up, I said, thank you, Lord, that I have friends, that I have family, that I have the Y, that I have my church, that I have a home, that I have food, and it's just like, I'm just very thankful. And I think that's where you were asking about where does the positivity come from. Yep. I think it's a thankful heart, and I think it's a choice. I think we can choose joy.
Yeah.
Not that the bad things don't happen, but I think we do have a choice. And I'm just very thankful. And I don't take credit for that. To me, it's just something God has put in my life.
Yeah, I was going to say, who taught you that?
Yeah.
Did you have someone, do you have a parent or something that seemed to resonate that as well? Or you just feel like it was just born in you?
I think it was just born in me. I think it's in my DNA. I think
that's nice.
The good Lord did that.
So what advice would you give to others that are just starting out or are struggling? I want to, and I may be wrong, but did you take Dr. McKnight's?
I did.
Yeah.
Fit for Life?
Fit for Life. I was going to say that I thought you did that program as well, because I remember I thought talking to you about that and how positive that was for you. But what would you say, or what advice would you give others who are just starting out or kind of feeling alone, and what would you tell them?
That want to start at the Y? I would say a couple things. I would say start out slow and take your time, and for me, I'm not. Some people, this would be a downside, but I'm not competitive. If I compete with people, then I feel like, I can't keep up with these people.
Right.
So I'm not competitive with anybody. And when I started, I kept a log, because that must be the teacher in me, It's like, okay. And
yes. Stars and stickers.
Pretty close. So anyway, it's like, and then I was encouraged, because I saw, now I rode the bike for 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and then 20 minutes. So I kind of did it in steps. It was a process for me. And find something that they enjoy. Like, there's certain things I just wouldn't be good at because I don't enjoy them. But I enjoy walking, so I like the track. Mm-hmm. I enjoy people, so I like group classes, like Silver Sneakers. I really enjoy that a lot. I enjoy my chair yoga class. So some people are motivated by having a partner, and I can see where that would work for some people, because you're accountable then. It's like, oh my gosh, Susie's waiting on me to show up. I need to get there. But to me, I'm the other way. I like to be on my own, but music is also motivating. I have my message on Sirius XM, and I'm just rocking out. But as soon as someone comes up to me on the track, it's like, take those things out and listen to this person and see the. And it's just been, our people are so kind. It's like my car. I had to go have had it detailed. And I told a lady that I walk sometimes with there, I said, well, I'm going to have my car detailed. She goes, okay. And I says, and it's really close, so I can walk over to the Y. No, she said, I'm going to meet you there and bring you to the Y, and then we'll walk, and then I'll go home and make you lunch, and then I'll come back and take you to get your car, and then I'll take you to my house to have lunch. Who does that?
Was this Ann?
Yes, it was Ann. Who does that?
Ann. You almost sounded like her when you said, that's awesome. Yeah, she's very cool.
She's so inspirational,
Yeah.
So like that.
That is great advice. I think it is starting small, finding what you like to do, and I think just come at it with some joy. Definitely helps. And then I would also say that you really do need to start to get to know people.
Yes.
And I always say start at the front desk, get to know the front desk staff, and some of the instructors, and they'll start introducing you to other people, and it really does become part of your routine, part of your family life, and just kind of sticks with you and grows with you, which is great. We are so blessed to have you at the Y and have you as a representative in our lobby. I love that you come early and sit, and I know that many of the instructors, including myself, like to see you sitting on the other side so that we, it's a friendly face, we're good, and so that it does help. And so I am sure that the Y is not the only one who recognizes and benefits from your joy. I'm sure Dover Library feels that way. I'm sure Tusk Library feels that way. And so we just hope that others will be inspired to be much like Sheila, and get out there and put yourself out there and smile at people and bring people joy and all that kind of great stuff. So I appreciate all you do for the Y. Thank you so much for being part of our family.
Thank you for your kind words. And for those new people coming, come and see me. I'll be in the lobby, and I'll gladly talk to you.
Awesome. So at the end of each one of our podcasts, we do like a little speed round just to get to know you. These are all questions that you know.
Okay.
And it kind of gives us a little more insight into the type of person that you are.
Okay.
So what was the last book that you read?
It's called Saved. It's a war reporter's mission to make it home by Benjamin Hall. It's a true story. And he was in Ukraine doing, he's a journalist, and his car was bombed and everyone else in it was killed. He lost a leg, and he's married and has 3 little girls. The one little girl he said, I saw her and I heard her voice, and she said, Daddy, you got to get out of this car right now. And he had no idea how he could get out of there in the state he was in. But he crawled out, and then the last bomb went off in the car, and he wouldn't have been here had he not listened to that voice. And then how there's a whole group that came in of veterans who came in and captured him and got him over to home, because he thought, I'll never see my family again. And so he has done a documentary, and he's written a book. And I like people, true stories. And he's so positive. When I heard him on TV, that's what hit me. I'm like, he's not bitter at all that all this happened.
Wow.
He's thankful.
Yeah.
His heart was amazing. So that was the last book I read.
Yeah. God gives us a journey, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate peanut butter. And so are Reese Cups, my favorite candy bar. Chocolate and peanut butter.
Do you have a favorite ice cream shop in the area?
I like Miller's Creamery.
Like
Gladys
Miller's?
and Norman that own it are my friends.
Yeah, that's a good place. That's for sure.
Yes.
What song makes you want to get up and dance?
I want to dance with somebody. Whitney Houston.
Nice, Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston. That is
Yeah.
great. Did you watch her document? I guess I don't know. That was a documentary.
I
but
did
the
see it.
movie
I know
on
what you
Whitney.
mean.
Yeah, I
Yes.
just watched that just recently.
Yes.
Dog versus cat.
I've had both. I've liked both, but I would say dog. Cats can be a bit persnickety, and and dogs, they love you no matter what. They just
True.
come at you, wagging their tail, and you can have a rotten day, and they still love you.
Little bags under my eyes from my cat. Didn't want to let me sleep a whole lot last night for some reason. Do you have a secret talent?
No.
No?
I thought of that, Kathleen. I'm like,
No
I
secret
can't even
talent.
come up with one in the way recesses of my head. No secret talent.
I'm sure your secret gift is just leading kids, because you were what grade? First grade. Well, see, so that's a secret talent right there. But that was not left a secret for very long. How many years did you teach?
I taught, well, I had a preschool at the First Christian Church. I was the director and teacher there for 3 years. Then I taught at Claymont for 17 years because I started later in life. I raised my kids 20 years, then got my degree in my 40s.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's inspiring. There you go. There's another inspiration from her. Favorite TV show?
The Good Doctor.
Oh, I like that show.
Love that.
That is a good show.
That I like that. I like Blue Bloods. I like when they sit around the table on Sundays, and they're relational.
Yeah, there you go. Favorite sport?
Okay, that was a tough one because I'm like, am I going to get kicked out of here because I don't really watch sports?
Oh, no. Yeah, usually we're
I'm
surrounded by Browns
uh-oh,
memorabilia, but it's not here.
But I will say,
Baseball hasn't become your favorite sport?
no. But I will say, Olympics, I like to watch gymnastics.
Yeah.
I think because it's so graceful. I enjoy gymnastics.
Yeah, I'm a figure skater fan, and if you were to ask me, like, well, this last question, when we get to that, my answer would be figure skater. So you don't have a favorite sports team? Then.
Not team, but I really like Tom Brady.
Oh. There you have it.
And I really like Tim Tebow because of his heart.
Oh, yeah.
He has the prom.
Yeah.
And I just think that's amazing. Night to Shine. Again, his heart.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know Damar Hamlin, but I love him because of what happened. I mean, he brought the whole world, I think, to their knees to pray for him.
Yeah.
And thank God he made it. He's okay.
Yeah.
But to bring that to the NFL and the world was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought that was a divine appointment.
There, you are right. You are right.
So
that's awesome. Favorite actor?
Harrison Ford and Denzel Washington. I like those two.
Good choices.
Which I wish they would make some more movies. I haven't seen them out for a while.
How old is Harrison Ford?
I have no idea. I know those two age me too, but I liked them. Except I watched Denzel once, and he was a bad guy. No.
He's not allowed to do that?
He's not allowed to be a bad guy. I will not watch him anymore if he's a bad guy.
It is tough when you see them try to switch over like that.
Yeah.
You're like, why?
It was just not his
Why did you do
personality. Although he didn't ask me. So.
Yeah. Next time, I'm sure he will. And then a talent that you wish you had.
I wish I could play the piano.
Well, I feel like that's still doable.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's plenty of people out there that would teach you, I'm sure. And you'll probably meet one at the Y tomorrow when after the next time they see this podcast, they'll be like, I can teach her to play the piano. All right, Sheila, thanks so much for being part of the show today. I have had so much fun having you here. In fact, you probably should just become one of the hosts because we'll just keep bringing people on that you know. But thank you so much for being part of the Y and for coming and sharing your story. So our 22nd podcast has come to an end. Remember, if you have a Y story or want to be on our podcast, please email me, Kathleen at tuscymca.org. We can't wait to hear from you. Take a moment to check out our website at tuscymca.org and follow us on Facebook for all our special events. And please repost this podcast. Don't forget to choose joy every day and stay positive. And we'll see you next time on the Who, What, When, Where, and the Why podcast. Don't forget us at the Y.